vow to say what I mean and mean what I say.
As the man?
No, the woman.
The one,
The woman has to say this.
Oh, yeah.
The woman has to say this.
Be very clear.
Yes, you need to be clear in your communication as to what you want. Do not, if I ask you what you want for dinner, do not say, I don't care. And then I say, hey, let's get Chinese. And you say, no, I don't want Chinese. So I vow to be clear that the woman would only say that.
That's good. You know what I think? I think you speak for all men when you say that one.
Yeah, I vow to be clear about what I want. That's it. That's the one I want to add, and it's only for women. So with men, we could slide on that. We could slide on that one. It would be only for women. Welcome back to Relationship Status. It's your boy Yusuf in the building. And remember, you can catch us on all podcast platforms. You can also catch us on YouTube at just search Relationship Status Podcast. And remember, also you can catch us on Dirty Basement Radio every Monday and Tuesday at 12 noon live. So don't forget to catch us on there. And don't forget to join the Patreon, patreon.com/relationship status. And as you can see from the screen, that we have a wonderful guest host. V is getting ready for her brunch in pink down in Atlanta. So that's why she's not on today. It is, I think it'll be Sunday from 11 to 3. She said, you bring the boobs, she'll bring the food. So brunch in pink at Eat My Biscuits down in East Point, Atlanta. All right, go ahead. Food's great. Make sure you go there. As always, this episode is brought to you by Eat My Biscuits. So we have a wonderful guest with us today from the Becoming Her podcast, the one, the only, Ashley Martin.
Ooh.
How you doing, Ashley?
I am doing wonderful.
Are you becoming?
You. I am constantly becoming, okay? Constantly evolving, constantly becoming, and that is what life is like for me now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So a little bit personal, real quick.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, have you gotten any responses about your podcast so far?
I have gotten so many responses from my podcast. I literally have pinned some of the comments on my Becoming Her with Ashley Martin Facebook page. If you guys have not gone and followed me there, please do.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But I have one comment, and I don't remember what it said verbatimly, but what it did say was that when she listened to the podcast, that she was dealing with some issues with anxiety. And I said something to the way that I open up sometimes when I'm doing the solo episodes. Let's take a deep breath. Let's remember the breath. And she said that instantly when she listened to me, that calmed her down. I was talking to someone yesterday, and she said that she was dealing with a situation at work. It had her so upset to the point where she was crying. She said when she got to her car, the first thing she said to herself was, let me listen to Ashley. And that instantly calmed her down. This is a real story. I'm not fabricating it. And then I have several stories. There are some comments under the Spotify and all of that. And so, of course, it makks me feel like, okay, girl, you doing the work.
So you're a star.
You doing the work.
Basically what you're saying is you're a star.
Emerging. Yes. I'm a star, but they just... it's a distant star. They don't see. I'm coming in.
You coming in?
I'm coming in.
Okay.
Coming in like
you're almost
coming
there.
in like a comet though. It's just gonna
and hit you hard.
Yeah. But it feels amazing though to know that this work or what I'm doing is coming from a pure place, and I know what I am intending to do, and so what my intentions are. It's simple. I want to inspire, empower, and all of that, and so. For me, knowing that the responses are in alignment with what my intentions are, that's all you need. That's what that's all I need.
Okay, that makes sense. So, a question we ask all of our guests.
Give it to me.
It's the number one question we got to ask all our guests.
Yeah.
What's your relationship status?
My
That's
relationship is, yes, it is.
It's easy for you.
Happily married.
Happily married.
Happily married.
How many years?
We have been happily married for 10 years. No, I'm sorry. 11 years.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't get it wrong.
Yeah. 11 years happily married, and we've been together for 16 years.
Man.
Happily married, yeah.
Is it a take it each day at a time, or is it a, we're looking towards the future? Like, what is it? What do you think?
For me, so marriage is not.
Marriage.
Yeah. So for marriage, it looks different for everybody, of course, because just like kids and their learning styles in school, I would compare it to that. That marriage is different. You have different personalities. When people come together, sometimes you have someone who's coming in with a whole, like a comment, like I said earlier, a whole bunch of trauma that would just, explosive, things. And so, people have to navigate those issues. But for me personally, marriage to me and what it has been is something that I look forward to the future. Like I look forward to continuing to build with my husband. And also just resting in knowing that every relationship / marriage, it has its ups and downs. And so knowing that it's not what you go through, it's just how you come out of it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good look at it, because I think what marriage today is different than what we saw. I wouldn't what we saw, because I didn't really see, I've said it on the show many times. I didn't really see a positive example of marriage, because my grandmother wasn't married. My grandmother, I never even saw her date anybody. Like for as long as I can remember, nobody. Like I don't remember her ever.
Grandma was like a nun.
Yeah, I was like, how could she last this long?
Yeah,
like as an adult, and I go back and look on it,
but you know what? She
probably was dibbling and dabbling.
But it's just like nowadays, we let everything out.
Yeah.
Grandma,
grandma knew how to tuck it away.
Right.
My dad and my mom, I don't ever remember them being together, but they were married at some point. My grandmother on my mom's side, she was married for a long time to her husband. They actually were married till she died. She passed last year. But, I don't know if it was because they were happily married or because their religion wouldn't allow them to be divorced because they were Jehovah's Witness. So I think that Jehovah's Witness is I think I could speak a little bit to it from being married to one.
Yeah.
That they're a little bit really more staunch on the family dynamic. So if there's kids, there's a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for you to divorce in that culture. Like there's no reason. There's nothing too big that they cannot overcome. There's nothing too small. The communication part of it, they try to get out in front of everything. And then of course, being that I wasn't in the faith, it was for me easy for me to be like, hey, look, I'm not happy, so I'm gonna be out.
Yeah.
But you can say that from examples, like let's say we want to take TV. For instance, the Cliff and Claire Huxtable. You would say they were probably the epitome of a relationship.
Yes.
Or even Martin and Gina.
Yeah.
A totally different type.
Yeah.
Rock and his wife.
Yes.
What do you think is different from those? Because that's what we saw growing up as examples of marriage. Because I'm not sure about your upbringing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, from listening to your show, I do know that you didn't really see mom and dad married, so to speak.
Right.
So, why do you think it's been such a shit? Why has this shift happened from then to now?
Yeah, that's a great question, Yusuf. And I love the examples that you gave with the TV shows that we grew up on, that we love. And that was the epitome of not only, what a marriage should look like, but for us being underrepresented people as Black people, just that Black love, right? And what but our viewers don't know that I didn't see that growing up primarily with my mom and dad. I never even met my biological father. And so being happily married for all the years that I've been married, that is like one challenge that I bought into the relationship with, having those deep-rooted abandonment issues and why wasn't I good enough for my dad and all of that. But fortunately, I saw it with my grandparents.
Okay.
who I had the privilege of living with because of,
Okay.
my mom issues and just living with my grandma. So I was living with my grandparents. So I got to see that marriage and that union growing up. And that was probably one of the things that helped me in my own marriage, because my grandfather was such a provider. It wasn't nothing. I remember growing up, it wasn't nothing that I didn't think my grandfather could do. Like anything got broken around the house, my grandfather fixed
Grandpa
it.
fixed it.
Yeah. I remember even things like my grandfather farming, having the animals and literally killing the pig, unaliving the pig.
Yeah, unaliving the pig, yeah.
Got to be politically correct these days. And feeding his, feeding his family. So to answer your question, I think what has changed, it really hasn't changed. It's just the heartbeat is the same with commitment, forgiveness and all of that. I just think that the landscape has changed a little bit.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna disagree with you.
Because this is what
I'm gonna tell you why I think it's changed. I think the motivation behind being married changed, because I think right now people are not marrying for love as much as they were before. They're marrying for partnership and stability. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
And I want the security of being with somebody. I want the two income household.
Yeah.
I need the help. It's more. I've heard more women on other podcasts, in conversations that I've had. I've heard more women say, yeah, marriage is a business decision. I need to be married to someone who has this, and this, because they have to be able to not only hold me down, because, this is coming from independent women as well, because I think that's played a part too.
Definitely have played a part.
Women having, being more career-based. But then again, when you look at it, because Claire had she was a lawyer.
Absolutely.
Gina was the head of an ad agency, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you are correct.
No, she was a partner in an ad agency.
Well, I think she might have been the head. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she started it, but I think she was like a partner or something in an ad agency. And now, mind you, unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't like the show Martin.
What?
I did.
Revoke his black card.
I did it.
Revoke it.
I did it. So if I get something wrong, don't
Let me hold your black
don't
card.
get in my comments. No, I can't.
Yeah.
Just because I disagree, I don't know, something about it. I just couldn't get with it.
It's a classic.
But I watch it.
Yeah.
I have watched it, and I do still watch it from time to time. But I'm just saying, so they had careers, but I think even in that sense, they weren't as. Like now, I think most women wear independence as a badge of honor.
I agree.
Rather than, hey, you don't have to do this, right?
Yeah. I can agree with you with that. So let's go back to
the original question was, do you think people are still marrying for love, or is it more for stability and business, basically, and partnership?
Yeah. Again, really good question, because I think the thing about it is when something's like propaganda, right? If something is constantly being said and you see it on this platform, you see it on this platform, you're having conversations with some people, it is the frequency behind, okay, you hear it there, then it's like wherever you, and I don't want to steer too left.
No, you're right. You're
but it's like wherever you give your attention grows. So you hear it here, then it hits something, then you're like, interesting point. Or you've had experience to kind of correlate with whatever it is. Right. And then you hear it here. So for you, it has been those experiences time and time again. And I can, have a conversation. Like, I can see why you feel that way. And I've heard those things. But for me personally, I don't believe that marriage is something that has changed to, or I don't even want to say evolve. Evolve to just being, people, whether it be the woman or the man coming into the partnership saying, I want this, love, maybe I'll grow to love you, but I want this because of the stability. I want this because of how you look. I want the beautiful wife, or I want the husband who, has the money, but I don't really love you. That is the experience for a lot of people. Fortunately, it has not. It wasn't my experience. Yeah.
And I think that if a marriage is based on love, if that's the foundation, I think you can kind of work through everything else.
Absolutely.
But if it's built on finances, what happens when the finances are no longer there?
There you go.
If it's built on looks, what happens when the looks fade?
Simple. Simple.
So what are you choosing to be
sustainable
for you? in that sense of, yo, this is what I'm going to be attached to.
That's right.
Do you think that society has made marriage feel optional or even outdated? Because I've even spoken to a demographic of people. I did a show, the Toxicity Podcast with Titus. Did that, I think, this past week. I engineered his show, and it was at Oasis. Good restaurant. Go there and grab you something to eat.
Here in Florence, South Carolina?
In Florence,
okay.
on Palmetto Street.
Y'all hear that? Oasis in Florence?
Yeah. And he had it wasn't a full packed house, but it was a lot of people in the audience.
Yeah.
Because, they're having fun eating.
That
and then
sounds dope,
the conversation
by the
was,
way.
oh, no, it was good conversation. Yeah. And a good bit of the women who got up and spoke, because they were talking about 50-50, and a good amount of people that spoke, like women, were talking about, well, I know I'm not getting married.
Yeah.
Because it's just not for me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be, or I'm not going to get married in the sense of a ceremony, but it's going to be spiritually, I'm going to get married or whatever. Like, what has happened to us as a society that you believe, do you think?
Yeah.
That has made it almost seem outdated to be married?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, coming up with some great questions. And so, while I can't speak to why, and you asked me what do I think, but of course this is not like me speaking for everybody, obviously, but I feel like we are in a different era. We're in an era where people are navigating social media being the biggest culprit of it all. Social media can have its, pros and its cons. And then we're navigating women being like in this new age versus back then. I think we're navigating women being more career driven, more financially independent.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you have, again, the propaganda or the just people saying like, I don't need a man. I don't, and to each his own, perhaps you're gonna be like grandma, man. Maybe you don't want, because of whatever. And so to each his own. But I do feel like the tone of it can be a little discouraging to people who want not so much of a traditional, marriage, but to find that person, to find the one and create a life together. So I think that it is just the different variables like social media, women coming into their own financial, just kingdom or queendom, where they feel like, well, I'm making X amount of money. What can a man do for me besides, something sexual? And I, for me, that is not the right mindset. But again, to each his own, because I do feel like we, just like Adam and Eve, to people who are, believe in that story, there was Adam, and then he got Eve as a partner, and whether that story is true for some or
or true or not,
but I do believe that life is about partnership, and it's like even with reaching a goal, you are head coach in another profession. It's like that one person can't do it alone, so you need someone. And so what happens when life happens and you're all alone? What happens?
Yeah, I've said it on the show a couple of times. I feel like what happens if you're all alone? I always say I feel like I'm destined to be alone at the end of the day, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
I think this next one, I'm trying to figure out the best way to so for better or for worse, I think that's going out the window in 2025.
I don't believe so. Of course, I don't believe. But I'm speaking.
In your marriage. In your marriage.
Yeah. Let me say that
the divorce rate. Let me go ahead. Say your point.
So I'm going to say that, and I love the statistics. So definitely. Let's look at the statistics also. But for me, for better or for worse, so I have two parts of, it's a balance with me, because I do feel as if that is what marriage is. Marriage is about, you're going to deal with the obstacles and the storms in life. It's about how you stand in the rain together, and again, how you come out of that thing. I don't condone or believe that any person, whether it's a man or a woman dealing with any violence or any emotional abuse, I don't feel like you should continue to stay in a marriage or any relationship if it is abusive. I do believe that you need to value yourself and put your safety first for once. I will say that, but let's take that out of.
Yeah, I think if you take out mental, verbal, physical abuse out, sexual abuse, take that out.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a throwaway because you should leave.
You should leave.
Now, mind you, I was listening to. I was listening to the Second Row Conversations podcast with Letitia Plowden, and this is Domestic Violence Month, and so she had on a young lady, Dawn Dawson, who works for. She couldn't say who she worked for, what agency she worked for.
Yeah.
But she says they tell women that are being abused not to leave.
Not to leave?
Yeah, they said come up with don't abruptly just go.
Okay.
She was like, you have to build a plan to leave, because if you don't build up a plan to leave,
you'll resort to going
you either
back.
resort to going back, or you can end up, she said, you can end up physically hurt or killed or unalived.
I can see that point.
In that sense.
Yeah.
So let's say we take that out. You should get divorced from a person if they're treating you in that manner.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? If adultery has happened, should you leave?
So for me, that has never happened in my marriage or relationship from what I know. I don't have any evidence of it. And I think that is to each his own. You know what you can deal with, and you know, people, it's like that is not an all size, one size fits all question.
Yeah.
Because people obviously know what their capacity is. For me personally, my capacity is
zero tolerance.
Never zero tolerance. And I think that goes for my husband and I. Yeah. He doesn't want to deal with that or refuse to deal with it. And so he and I are definitely on the same page. But there are people that I know personally who have dealt with it and who are thriving in their relationship. So again, it's just not that one size fit all, because people look at it like, oh, I wouldn't deal with a cheating woman, or I wouldn't deal with a cheating man. But
when you don't really know what you would do when it comes down to it.
Exactly. So really y'all listen to that. You don't know. Never say never, because you don't know what you'll deal with when it comes to it. But for me personally, zero, nada. Cheat on me? Never.
All right. Number of marriages in 2023. And this is from 45 reporting states and Washington, D.C.
Are we dealing with a particular race?
No, this is just the bulk of marriages.
Okay.
2,041,926 marriages happened in 2023. That's how many marriages happened. 672,502 divorces.
That ratio is so off. I'm thinking, I have children, obviously. So when I think about my children placement and the programs that the classes they in, I think about ratios and, okay, is this one teacher to how many, students? So my mind went to 2 million compared to 6. That's literally that number.
It's close.
That ratio is almost.
Yeah, it's almost half.
Almost half, yeah.
So that means almost. I would say 40-something%, or maybe let's say a little bit lower, maybe 40% of the marriages are ending in divorce now.
Yeah. It goes back to the question.
What is
your motive? What is your motive?
Yeah.
That plays a huge part in it. What is your motive? When you meet someone, I remember telling my husband this, and it's funny now when I think about it, but I was I was serious, okay? But I remember saying how, I'm not just dating anymore. I am auditioning life partners. Are you going to be my husband or not? You are auditioning to be my husband. And I'm looking at the qualities that you have. I'm looking at how you respond when things happen. And so it goes back to the question, what are people marrying for? Because we're in an economic climate where, okay, you might have this great job. One day, you might lose it all the next week.
And then what do you do?
And what do you do?
And now you with this person. Now you're like, hey, man, I need this.
I don't even like the way he look, and I don't even like. Oh my God, I like the way that he eat. Everything will irk your nerves. Yeah. And so I think that plays a major part in that divorce rate. And then let's really deal with what we know. We know that you can't drive 10 miles without seeing some type of billboard saying, are you tired now? Like call divorce lawyer. So it's like it's like all these options, to you need a way out. I can help you.
I can help you get out.
So it makes it
that's
easy.
Definitely it.
Yeah.
So when they say sickness and health today, do you think that's just relationship talk, or do you feel like people are really like into it?
Yeah. People are, again, I love to speak from a place, from my heart, obviously, but not so much catered to around like my personal experience. Well, because I believe in like just keeping something sacred, but I will share this, that my husband got shot back in December 2023, perfectly healthy, never went to the hospital, never, like nothing. And dealing with that situation where he was actually sick, he was in the ICU for 3 weeks, stayed in the hospital for like 2 days shy of like 1 month. He came home, he had some health issues, and I'm dealing with this new norm, like, oh my God, I have to help take care of my husband. Fortunately, my husband is much better now and back to, everything is back to normal. But there was that time period where I was taking care of my husband.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of my vows for sickness and in health. And that is the part that people, if you want to be married, take your vows for me. Take them serious, because life is going to happen. Like we said with the jobs and all of those things, or the looks. Life, if you have an experience, life happens. Life happens. Yusuf said prior to we were having a brief conversation. It was like, the struggle is real. And I was like, don't I know, my brother? The struggle is real. So you will experience that for sure. Life will happen. So your intentions has to be solid. And if your intentions are, y'all have some agreement where I want you, because, we're in a new society now. So it may be a mutual agreement. I want you because you look good. I can provide for you. That's y'all agreement, and that's y'all business. Yeah. But just don't go in with, having someone think one thing, like, I love you and I want to be with you. And then as soon as they get...
that's not the case.
And that's not the case.
Yeah, as soon as they get sick, you're ready to be out.
Absolutely.
I know there's this woman I know. I've known her since 2011. This is 2011. It's been about 14 years now. Her husband is sick to the point where he can't speak, can't move. He's just like literally existing. And she's a nurse, and she has to do between her and his mom. They have to do everything.
Bathe them, feed them,
everything.
Probably change tubings or whatever.
I told her I respect her so much.
Yeah.
Hasn't left. Hasn't stepped out on her marriage.
Yeah.
Hasn't physically been with anyone. Because basically what happened, they got married, went on their honeymoon. When they came back from the honeymoon, he felt something was wrong, went to the hospital, and he has been like that since.
Wow.
So he's been like that. They've been married for longer than the 14 years. This is just how long I've known her.
And she's still taking care of her husband?
She's still,
what an amazing woman.
To this has never,
rare.
That she's admitted to me, never stepped out.
Yeah.
Because she's never told me she has.
Yeah.
But hasn't stepped out, hasn't gone outside of the marriage to find anything with anybody.
Wow.
And I said, you are much stronger than me.
Right.
I hate to say it.
Yeah. But it's your truth.
I said, but how are you doing this?
Yeah. What's her response?
As an adult, we all have urges, and shoot, I have urges. At the end of the day, it's like, how?
Yeah.
And she says, she takes it as his life changed on that day, and so did mine. And I agreed to marry him for better or worse, sickness and health, forsaking all others, is what she said. And she says, I took a vow.
Took a vow.
She says, now if he passes on, then I'll move on.
Yeah.
She's like, but until that day, I'm here.
That's my husband.
And I said, wow.
Yeah.
I said, all right. You can't. Very, very commendable. Very, very commendable. So I guess that's the thing.
Yeah.
when I was towards the end of my marriage, and even the end, I had a fiance for a couple of years. At the end of that relationship, we decided to do counseling in both senses. The second time, I was not a fan of it. The first time, I wanted to go to a professional, but she wanted to have somebody in the congregation do it. And so I was like, all right, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Let's save what we got, right?
Yeah.
So the issue I had in my marriage was, there was a couple of them, but one of the main ones was she's somewhat verbally, she let me have it verbally.
Yeah.
And it's actually caused trauma in me today. So like, you cuss at me, I'm out. Like
You were shut down?
I'm shut down.
Yeah.
I become an asshole. Like whatever just happened, I don't care if I caused you to do this. I don't care if something I did has hurt
goes
you.
Up.
Oh no, I'm out. I'm completely out.
Yeah.
You can forget it.
Yeah.
But it stemmed from that experience. And so when we would go to counseling, he would come to the house. Uncle James would come to the house, and he would talk to us about everything, and she would sit there and she'd be like, yes, and yes, and yes. Oh, I get it, Uncle James. Oh, you're right, Uncle James. And I'd be like, yeah. We, He would leave out the house as soon as that car leaves the driveway. I said, the man just said that we have to kind of, but this is the house. He don't run my, and we just couldn't get there. But me and her cool now.
Yeah.
But in that, we'll say, and we say it today, we should have never been married. Like we got married because we had kids. She had pressure from her family. I had pressure from, I did not want to be a baby daddy again.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, we ain't doing this. I'm not doing this again. I put undue pressure on myself, and then I had a friend die. So whatever, everything kind of, and she was like, hey, let's just get married. I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
So in that, I bring up the therapy because I think the majority of marriages use therapy as an emergency, not as an essential. And I think if you're going in maybe once a month, just a wellness check.
Yes. Yeah.
With a counselor, even if you do it virtually, however you choose to do your counseling, I think it should be essential rather than in an emergency.
I agree. I agree. I personally, my husband and I, we didn't do premarital counseling, but we did do therapy during one of like a very difficult time in it was our relationship. We wasn't even quite married yet. Well, we wasn't married yet. But we were trying to navigate some issues, and I wanted to do it. My husband agreed, and it helped. It helped for him to see how I felt. It helped me have that person to mediate, just the communication barrier, because I'm so busy. I was so busy saying, well, I see it like this, and then he's telling me how he feel. And so just having someone mediate, like, are you hearing each other? So therapy really helps. We have not done therapy since then, but I couldn't agree with you more. I do feel like sometimes you need to have that, just be proactive before things, because when things happen, then you'll know how to, okay, we should talk to each other like this. But I would share this, like, although we didn't go seek a professional, and I am all for the professional therapist and count all that, right? My husband and I went to dinner one night, and we knew what we were going to do. I believe it was his idea, and we still have it today. And this might have been a decade ago, but it was some of the things that we knew we were doing to hurt each other, and we vowed to stop doing those things. Whether it was, me saying, like, disrespecting him as a man, cursing at him, when I would get upset. And so I vowed not to do those things. Of course, over the years, you relapse, but but then you hold each other accountable. But I'm all for therapy, and I do feel like married couples, people who are thinking about marriage, if you are bringing your own set of traumas and issues into a relationship, therapy is definitely something that you should consider.
Speaking of like what y'all did in your marriage, writing the stuff down. In my relationship with my ex, we had a when we started dating, both of us, our favorite movie And I've never said this publicly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did say it. I said it. I think it's like the first year we recorded this show, our relationship status. She was on as a guest. Me and her were still together at the time. And no, we weren't together. We were broken up. But she was on the show, and what we would do is the Notebook was these. I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Notebook. Where at the end of the day, he always rereads when to get her memory back. He would read their love story over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, we were two corny people who really liked that movie. So we decided to start a notebook. So I would write in it one day and date it. And then I would give it to her. And then, because we didn't live together at the time when we started.
Yeah.
And then she would write in it, date it. And then the next time we saw each other, she would give it to me. And then I would write in it the next. And then it would go on and on and on and on and on. And then we stopped. For some reason, we stopped. And then stuff started getting a little rocky, so we was like, okay, let's go back to that. And then we started the Notebook again because we couldn't find the old one, so we started a new one.
Yeah.
And I still have that book, but you can see. I think that was kind of our way of therapy.
Yeah.
I think she was able. I think it's sometimes easier. I dated somebody once where it's easier for them to text me how they feel.
Yeah.
Than to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And I think whatever feels comfortable. Now, the problem with that is I don't like texting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so like any text outside of 5 lines, you're probably going to lose me. Any text, 5, 6 lines, maybe 7, you're probably going to lose me.
Yeah.
But I understand why people do it, and I try to be locked in. It's difficult.
It doesn't work for you.
No, but with the Notebook, it was. I was able to see her thoughts in real time because she would write them in real time.
Yeah.
And so it made it real easy to do it. So that kind of was our sense of therapy.
Yeah.
So I think therapy doesn't, like you said, it doesn't always have to be with a professional, but I do think that it does need to be a part of your marriage. And you know, the different love languages, I think that feeds into what should be considered. I think marriages should have a love language and it should be mutual growth. It's just, how do we grow together and continue? Because if, you know, sometimes marriages fail because one person outgrew the other. How are we navigating this growth of you? How am I supporting your growth and you supporting my growth? How are we going to be able to do that together? But I think that's from...
And that is the key. I believe that is what marriage should be the foundation of. You understanding that is partnership. But then in 2025 versus back then, you have, you know, our ancestors, our great grandparents or grandparents even, that understood marriage to be, you know, like just the ending of a thing, the beginning, but the ending of a thing. Like you get the husband, and it's just that you're gonna do it until the wheels fall off. Whereas now in 2025, I personally believe that the thing that has changed is people are more aware of their mental health. People are more aware of the growth opportunities. And so although marriage is unity and partnership and all of those things, it is also balancing it with knowing and recognizing that you are two different individuals. So even though you're coming together to be one, you're still an individual. You still have your individual aspirations and goals and dreams. And so knowing that we're together, but this is your vision. Okay, babe, how are we going to make this happen? So being supportive and understanding, because just like, and it's not gender based. If you're in a relationship and one person has been fulfilling a role, let's say, my husband has been the provider from day one, and so when the roles reverse, it's like, okay, now it's a new dynamic, and so, but understanding that this is the plan, and regardless of whatever the financial, like if my finances change to be, surpassing his, way surpassing his, we're still in it together. And the goal is to build a life that's sustainable. And build, provide for our children and grandchildren. And so sometimes the man wears all the hats. Sometimes the woman comes in and it's enough for the family.
Yeah,
where the man can just like, I'm not doing all of that right now. So, yeah.
Okay, so we'll take a little. We're not gonna be becoming her right now. We're gonna be becoming us.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
How can you tie in the becoming her principles with becoming your best strength with your best self within your marriage?
How can I
apply
the becoming her
principles to be, maintaining your individuality and continuously to grow as an individual within your marriage?
Got it. Oh, that's a heavy question. Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
We got time for. I'm
right.
here for it all.
Okay. So how can I apply the becoming her principles? So the becoming her principles, some of them are knowing that as an individual, I am evolving. Mm-hmm. And although marriage is, something that is based in commitment and grace and, all of those things that are, it's like the forgiveness and, all of those things, I do feel like marriages evolve. Mm-hmm. You don't just stay the same way. Mm-hmm. And so I apply those principles in my marriage with understanding that my marriage is not going to look today. It's not going to look like what it is today, how it looked like even 3 years ago. Because even 3 years ago, prior to my husband's incident with him getting shot, it looked different. My marriage has evolved even from that. And I understand that situation was a situation that changed me entirely, where I was so comfortable in my lifestyle. And so with applying the becoming her principles, evolving, being number one, becoming her, becoming is you haven't arrived, you're becoming, evolving, right? And so I apply that particular principle to my marriage. I'm evolving. But at the same time, my motive is still the same: to be faithful to my husband, to extend grace to my husband, and to be committed to my husband, which is faithful. And so those are the principles that I apply. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you as yourself, how does Ashley stay grounded while still showing up for your husband?
Yeah. So just knowing that my identity is rooted in all of my experiences, because that's what we are. We're just an embodiment of everything that we've gone through, but knowing how to take the things that I've experienced and allow it to propel me into the future of what I want it to look like. I know that I want to be a person who lives in my own truth. I don't want to experience situations where I'm being, fake or just not living in my truth. I am who I am. And so I believe that taking all of my experiences and knowing that this is who I am, not being in a situation or not putting myself in a situation where the noise of the world or other people is convincing me otherwise of who I am, like just reminding myself of all, like everything that I embody, all the characteristics, that's what helps me to be grounded. And I think that is just it's not even rocket science. You know that your palate is, let's say, you love, just Caribbean food. That's your background. You have that Caribbean vibe. And let's say someone is trying to give you some bland food and it's like not even seasoned well. You like, no, thank you. So for me, take that analogy and I apply it to when the world is trying to tell me, girl, you're this or you that, or you need to be this. You done been with that man for how long? And girl, you ain't never did. Like, no, this is who I am. And I think that it's not even hard work. You just remind yourself who you are and you operate out of that as a daily practice. I know that I am faithful. I don't put myself in situations where I am unfaithful.
Or you could be tested on that
or I'm
faith.
the tests are going to come regardless.
No, I mean, but I think that if you so like if you want to be a faithful person, you navigate yourself in a way in which you don't put yourself in situations. Now, of course, you're going to be tested no matter what. The world's going to test you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, like, if you're married and you want to be faithful and whatever, it's probably not a good idea to go to the strip club by yourself.
Yeah.
It's probably not.
Yeah.
It's
that's true.
It's probably not. It's probably not a good idea to go over your homeboy Do Dirty, who got a bunch of girls over there who want to get down.
All facts.
That's probably not a good place to go. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you trying to be, you ain't got nothing to prove to nobody.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you should not put yourself
in situations that are compromising.
That can compromise you. Because, I'm not saying anybody is weak. The flesh is weak. But if you don't put yourself in a situation, there's nothing for you to be in fear of happening.
That's true.
Yeah, no. So what advice would you give to a woman who wants to get married but is in fear of losing herself?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I know that is something that a lot of women deal with as far that question. I want to get married, but goodness, I've had all these people tell me that you always lose yourself. And I will be transparent. I know that I lost myself because prior to my husband and I meeting, prior to us dating, I remember, we would text each other and he said to me, I'm attracted to you, but that is not the most important thing. He was like, I'm attracted to your drive the most. And I was like, always just, I'm going to do this and do it. And I became so content with the idea of I have this man that is showering with me with the lifestyle. I don't have to work, honey. I am good. I'm going to take care of these kids. And in that, I became so content where it was like me literally stripping my own identity and aspirations. Okay. And so I do feel that it is important for a woman to understand, again, knowing who you are. If you know that you don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, or if you know that you don't want to have your spouse or your significant other, tell you it's going to be an issue with, you can't go on this girls trip. And I love to go out of town with my girls. Those things need to be established. You can't just have somebody thinking a certain thing, like, you get married, you start dating, then you neglect your girlfriends, and then 2 years later, y'all already married, and you're like, oh yeah, but I'm going on this girls trip. You're like, when you started going on girls trip? Yeah. Well, way before we met, but I just never let you know. You have to let people know, this is what I enjoy.
This is a part of me.
This is a part of me. So again, to answer your question very simply, it is be who you are. And then that changes, as you grow and, as time goes on. So it is communication. When we first met, and it was a business relationship, but it's like, just communicate. Yeah. Just communicate. And that's in any relationship. Communicate.
In relationships, like in business, I'm good. I'm communication on key.
Yeah.
In relationships, I suck. I suck at communication.
That is so weird.
Oh my God, I suck at communication.
Yeah.
That's why I get in a plethora of arguments. It's always something. I suck at communication.
Yeah.
In a relationship, I'm just bad at it.
Yeah. But that's the first thing to change in a thing, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to say, I suck at this. No, so you already acknowledging it.
I am horrible. The problem being bad and being horrible is two different things.
Yeah.
Being bad is, you acknowledge that you got an issue, you got a problem, and you're doing what you need to do to fix it.
Yeah.
Being horrible at communication, I know I'm bad, and I don't do nothing about it. There's no
priorities. Priorities.
Look, take it as it is.
Right.
Let's go some hot take questions, okay? Separate bank accounts, healthy or suspicious?
Healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Posting your spouse on social media, required or overrated?
Overrated. I do it, but it's overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marriage counseling before marriage, smart or unnecessary?
I would say unnecessary.
Unnecessary? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was just we kind of sneak that in there every
Yeah.
now and then, just
Yeah.
a lot of things what we've been talking about. But take a step back because I almost forgot. There was a point
Let me make sure that I put like a disclaimer on that. It is unnecessary if two people know how to communicate and you're coming in with truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what, like you're talking about the finances. Okay, I do have this secret. I want to, like anything that you feel like will go into a marriage and drag, like just suck the life out of a marriage within.
You need to put it in.
You
need
need to communicate,
Okay.
But so if you know how to communicate, then premarital counseling can be unnecessary.
Okay. If you could rewrite
Mm-hmm.
the marriage vows for 2025, we're gonna update them.
Okay.
What would you add, or what would you remove, or
That's
remove?
a good question. That's a really good question. What would I add and what would I remove?
I mean, you don't have to remove anything.
Yeah.
But what would you add if you would add anything, or what would you remove if you would remove anything? I'll pull them up. So how about this? We go through them.
Yeah. It's probably, yeah.
Let's go through them.
For better. I know that for better, for worse, for sickness and in health.
Marriage vows.
And I promise to love you and honor you. Oh, I probably.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Hold on. List the 10 marriage vows. There's 10? Oh, wow. 10 vows. That's not it. What is the ones out the Bible?
Hey, it changes. I mean, it's not even, of course you have your traditional marriage vows, but people write their vows all the time. So
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But I want the ones out the Bible. The one that they be.
the traditional
The
ones.
traditional. I'm going to be editing this part. There we go. What are the most traditional wedding vows? Okay. Okay. Here are the vows. Mm-hmm. You vow to have this person, to have and to hold from this day forward. That's one. We keeping that. Mm-hmm. For better or worse, richer or poorer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
Keeping all of that.
Keeping that, okay. Mm-hmm. To love and to cherish. Mm-hmm. Keeping that. Till death do us part. Mm-hmm. Forsaking all others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're keeping all of those.
I'm keeping. Yeah.
Is there any that we need to add?
I think, yeah. I think that it needs to be clearer with the emotional part. Mm-hmm. Because even though we use words like love and cherish, and people can, some people would take that and like, okay, that means to, meet someone's emotional needs. Mm-hmm. But that will be the biggest thing for me, adding that to that. Okay. Adding to it very simple and plain, like in layman's terms. I vow to meet your emotional needs because your emotions are connected to the mental, and sometimes how we think and how we feel are, closely related. So just understanding that this is your partner for life, you want to meet their emotional needs. You want to vow to meet their, emotional needs. Are you feeling sad? Talking through it. Are you feeling, neglected or abandoned? Like, how can I help you not feel this way so that it is peace with us?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're good.
Yeah.
We're good there. So that's the addition. There's nothing I would really add. I would say I think that what you said is a good one. No, I gotta add. I vow to not. I vow, and this can only come from the woman.
Yeah.
I vow to say what I mean and mean what I say.
As the man.
No, the woman.
The one. Oh.
The woman has to say this.
Oh yeah.
The woman has to say this.
Be very clear.
Yes, you need to be clear in your communication as to what you want. Do not. If I ask you what you want for dinner, do not say I don't care. And then I say, hey, let's get Chinese, and you say no, I don't want Chinese. So
That's
I vow
good. That's
to be
good.
clear that the woman would only say that.
That's good. You know what I think? I think you speak for all men when you say that one.
Yeah, I vow to be clear about what I want. That's it. That's the one I want to add, and it's only for women. So men, we could slide on that. We could slide on that one. It would be only for women.
Goodness.
All right. So we supposed to start the episode, but I skipped it. Just getting right into the conversation.
Yeah.
We have a question of the week. So question of the week. If you want to join the conversation, hit us up, relstat podcast@gmail.com. Also, you can join the conversation on the podcast advice group on Facebook Messenger, as well as in the private group, Facebook Relationship Status Podcast Advice Group. You could drop your advice letters and answer all the questions that we drop. So here's one. What's the question of the week this week was, what's the worst surprise you ever received from your husband? Let's say the worst surprise.
So it wasn't so much like a tangible thing. It was getting shot. Like life.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, life for us was just, it was good. We had just came off of vacation and was celebrating, was looking forward to celebrating that 10-year mark of being married. And we always talked about, okay, when we make it to 10 years. And so that was something that we were looking forward to. But on the night of December the 9th, my husband went to see about his brother and got caught up in the middle of all of that, and never has been someone who's just not, you don't live that type of lifestyle. But unfortunately, he got shot, and that was like the worst surprise. That
no,
so,
that would
that
suck.
was heavy.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was twofold. It was the best and the worst surprise. It was the worst and the best surprise all in one.
Oh.
So
The best and the worst.
Best and the worst.
Okay.
My oldest daughter's mom.
Okay.
She calls me up, and this is before my daughter was here.
Yeah.
She calls me up. It's my birthday. Calls me up and says, I got a surprise for you. I was like, all right, cool. It's
my birthday.
Man, listen, all the stuff that was going through my head.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's about to be on and popping tonight. And she comes to the house, and I'm expecting either a big gift or her and something skimpy. It's one of the two. I don't. What is it going to be? What's it going to be? And it's just her and her purse. She got on some sweats, t-shirt, hoodie. And I'm like, I'm excited. She done came over to the apartment. I'm like, all right, where's my surprise? She goes in her purse and pulls out the pregnancy test.
Surprise, Negro.
I was like, oh no.
On my birthday.
No, on my birthday.
On your birthday.
On my birthday, man.
But it turned out to be the best thing.
Yeah. Oh no, that day I cried. I was like, oh no, Lord.
So what were the tears from? Like just
no, the tears were from I don't want to be nobody daddy.
Yeah. You wasn't ready yet.
I am not. I think I was a junior in college.
Wow.
I was a junior in college. No, I was a junior in college.
Yeah. So life hasn't even really happened for you yet.
And I was like, oh my God. But
that's
anyway,
a good one, though. Good story. Good story.
And then we have a couple out the group. Shouts out to Adelina. She says she was surprised with buying a vehicle that wasn't for the family, but was a good deal. He said it was a good deal. I got a good deal, babe. I got a good deal.
Alina.
Let's go to the post here. I should be more prepared.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah,
it's flowing.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. Okay. That's for something later. That's for the next episode. All right. Edit that out now. So, Ashley, want to say thank you for joining me today.
So welcome.
Thank you for stepping in for V. V, we miss you, but definitely
hey,
thank you. Thank you for stepping in. Go ahead, plug your social media, plug the show.
Thank
Tell people
you.
where they can find you.
I am Ashley Martin, and I wear many hats. I am a lifestyle photographer. I'm a licensed esthetician, and I am the voice behind Becoming Her with Ashley Martin, a podcast that believes in having real conversations. We do a lot of encouragement and just having overall healing conversations And so please follow me at Becoming Her with Ashley Martin on Facebook, Becoming Her with Ashley on TikTok and Instagram. I'd love to have you tap into my community, leave me some comments, and just support the overall goal of just empowering each other. Thank you.
Thank you once again for being on.
You're
As
so
y'all
welcome.
already know, that you can find us on all podcast platforms. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms at RELSTAT Podcast. Join us on the Patreon, patreon.com/relationship status. Book club. Hey, I have read the first 7 chapters. For those who have gotten the book, we're going to discuss it on the next episode. We're going to have a short segment where I catch you up on Fame. The young lady who is the star of the book that is called Prospects of Fame, written by Grant Michaels. That is our first book in our book club. But we will be discussing the first 7 chapters, and ooh, it was juicy, juicy stuff. Now, it started off, there was some crazy stuff happened to start. So we're going to talk about that on the next episode. And don't forget to join the conversation in the book club that's on patreon.com/relationship status. It's your boy Yusuf in the building. Thanks for joining us. We're out. Peace.